Right, so this is a very, very long story. If you want to hear the entire story of how we met to basically how I ended up having all my kids, let me know and I'll start a part series for you. But if not, me and my husband met in high school. My dad ended up finding out and taking me to India to show me the culture and show me the way of how good little Indian girls are supposed to marry within their culture. And I'm pretty sure he was trying to leave me there, which wasn't successful. I ended up coming back to the United States and breaking up with my husband because I was like, there's just so much pushback when it came to my family. So I was like, okay, I can't deal with this. A few months later, I was like, look, I love this guy. I can't lose him. He is my person. So ended up getting back with him, but of course sneaking around about it. Got caught again by my dad. He was posted up in a parking lot and saw me, and I ended up running away from home. My parents are actually divorced. So my dad lives in Houston. That's where we were at the time. And my mom lives in Utah. So I ended up moving with my mom in Utah. I told her about the whole situation. She was like on the fence about it, but she was trying to keep an open mind. She's probably thinking, oh, this is just a fling. It's not going to last very long. And well, ended up convincing her to move back to Houston. She actually wanted me to leave him already. So I was kind of sneaking around her back on being with him. So then one day I ended up running away again because there was just a lot of drama between my parents and my mom and my dad. And it was a lot for me to take in. I was 17. I ran away. I was like, look, I can't do it. So I ended up getting caught after I ran away and going home. I was already, I think, 3 months pregnant at the time. My mom immediately said, get an abortion. He's going to leave you. He's going to knock you up and not ever talk to you again. You know, stereotyping black men. And I was like, you don't know him. You don't know what we have and all that. So anyways, ultimately, as soon as I turned 18, I had my son 3 weeks before I turned 18. So after I had my son, waited about 2 months to stack my money and moved out. So over the years, my mom's been a little bit more open-minded about the kids. She says she likes them. Her actions are different. But, you know, ultimately, I feel she only likes the kids, my kids, that look Indian and not black. So actions speak louder than words to me. So there's that. My dad, on the other hand, he never had pictures of the kids, never really asked about them, doesn't really care, said I was off in school in some foreign land to all his people. So I haven't talked to him in like over a decade. So short story.
I want you to sit down and ask yourself, how many Indians do you know that are married to Africans? And then come back and ask yourself, how many Africans do you know are married to white people? Give me a number on the comment section if you know. There is a thing I have to show you today. So let's watch this video. I'll give you my critical analysis towards the end of the video.
Because everyone watches Bollywood. Also, I specifically said South Asian, not South Indian. Bollywood so far has only been having actors that look white, which is very problematic because Bollywood is so popular. Not only do South Asians watch it, a lot of people from different countries watch Bollywood movies. And the representation in those movies is so problematic because there are people in my comment section who are foreigners, non-South Asians, who tell me that they did not know that Indians like me existed, meaning Indians of my skin tone or darker than me existed. Only after we started putting ourselves on the internet did they think, oh wow, they're brown and dark skinned Indians, South Asians? Why is it not there in Bollywood movies? There is colorism everywhere. But the reason why I hold Bollywood to such a high standard and I talk about them and I attack them on my page is because how popular they are, how much power they hold. Because people watch Bollywood movies and make their assumptions about us. By us, I mean the rest of South Asia, the rest of India, and they think that we look like those people, those actors, those white-looking actors, and they think that that's what South Asians look like. Nope. South Asia is very, very diverse. India is very diverse, but we don't have any representation. In my own country, I don't have representation. And Hollywood is doing a much better job at that. which I think, like, that's weird to me.
I'm probably going to get a lot of backlash for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's been bothering me. Recently, I've seen a lot of videos on TikTok and Instagram. South Asians asking the British Empire to return the Kohinoor diamond back to India after the Queen passed away. Sari blouses apparently not being a thing, and that they were introduced by the British Empire to cover a woman's modesty. You know, we're pointing fingers at the British Empire for all these things, and yet they left 75 years ago, and we're still holding on to one of the biggest legacies they've left behind: fair skin privilege and colorism. Okay, so I know that colorism did exist in South Asia before they arrived, but let's be very honest, their arrival exacerbated the problem, right? And we're still holding on to that. In fact, it's thriving. Colorism is thriving in India. We're holding on to that. We're holding on to internalized racism. I think it's high time we start looking within and fix those problems first.
So do my Indian parents finally accept my half-Black children? Let's get into it. So last I left off, I haven't spoken to my dad in over a decade. I think the last time I spoke to him was in 2013.
Colorism permeates South Asian culture. We love whiteness, and I mean both in terms of the skin, but also in terms of our internalization of white supremacy and racism. We have internalized racism, and we have come to believe that whiteness is better than brownness. And it shows up in things like colorism, where we tell our children to not sit in the sun, to use skin bleaching cream products, and more. This is a manifestation of white supremacy. It's a manifestation of racism, and we have come to believe this. And I'm so done with the colorism in our community, in our cultures.
Happy summer. I cannot believe that I still need to talk to some of y'all about this. Do not tell your brown children to stay out of the sun this summer. Do not offer skin lightening agents to counteract the effect of the sun on your brown children's skin. Do not slather your children in sunscreen with the intent of keeping them light, but rather with the intent of protecting them from skin cancer. Our skin is the imprint of our heritage, of our ancestors, and you will not be making children, literal children, think about how their skin is less desirable than white skin. Let your kids play in the goddamn
Y'all will continue
sun.
to say colorism in India does not exist when Indian women can't even turn on the TV. Imagine being an Indian woman, turning on the TV, Beyonce, and then imagine going to the drugstore after and seeing Fair and Lovely bleaching products literally everywhere. Going to like an auntie and uncle's house and then the auntie's like, oh, you got so dark. There is no escaping colorism and the Eurocentrism that was implemented by colonizers. And the fact that this video can exist in 2020 and the production company actors didn't say anything about it is unbelievably problematic and embarrassing. Imagine having colorism in 2020. What the heck? Like,
You know, the other day, Julius Malema was discussing the issues of Indians in South Africa. Julius Malema said, majority of Indians are racists. Those are the words of Julius Malema, not Evans from Kenya. Julius Malema. He said majority of Indians are racist. Yeah, let's talk about that today. It's true. Julius Malema added to say, many Indians don't get married to black Africans. No, they don't do that. They get married to Indians themselves or the white. In fact, the rate of marriage, the interracial rate of marriage in South Africa, it is higher between black person and a white person, more than it is higher between a black person and an Indian. It is true. A white person who everyone places on the top is having higher chances of getting married to a black person which the society has placed on the bottom. And we are trying to dismantle that. I'm not into that. But the person who is in the middle, who puts themselves in the middle, who is the Indian, they think they are superior. They think they can't get married to Africans. And these are from the words of Julius Malema. So my message to you is this. I've realized even here in Kenya, it's very, very close to minimum. It's close to zero Indians who are married to Africans. And why? We might be blaming them, but it's not them. It's the India culture in India. You know, Indians, they use the caste they have a caste culture. It's like a tribal thing. There is a higher class caste and there is a lower caste. A higher caste cannot marry a lower caste, and a lower caste cannot marry a higher caste. Marry within your caste, and if by any chance you say that love breaks all bonds and you decide to marry another caste, you are being abolished from the society that you live in. And it happens even today. It's now not about caste, it's now about races. Indians really do not like their ladies or their men marrying outside their caste, or marrying outside their culture, or marrying outside their race. You know, it happens like that. But some Indian ladies have decided no, they are living in the 21st century. They are going to get married to the person they choose to live with. That's how they decided. You know, I always know that if you get married, your parents should support you, your siblings should be there for you, people should celebrate and rejoice and be happy. But it's not happening that way. People are dull, people are sad when you get married outside your culture in India. And some Indian ladies just take the risk. They say, to hell with it. I'm not gonna do what the society wants me to do. I'm gonna do what I want to do. And so many Indian ladies are now running away from the Indian caste system, the oppressive Indian caste system. And now they are marrying Africans. They are marrying Africans at the expense of them being abolished, them being banished from their society, from their family. Why should we reach that extent? Why should we reach that extent of you can't marry someone, and if you marry them, you disown your children? No, it shouldn't happen that way. We should love one another as long as you are comfortable with them, as long as they don't harm you and they don't harm anyone around you. Marry anyone. Nobody should get into you. Nobody should come in between you people, because it is an agreement you made to yourselves that you and so and so, you are going to marry one another, and that's how it's going to be. This time, things have to change. I always say the greatest form of loyalty an African can pay to the African ancestors, or to the Africans who shed their blood during the freedom fighting, is being married to a fellow African. That's the highest form of loyalty an African can show to the ancestors, or an African can show to the African freedom fighters. If we marry outside, or we marry people who look like the same people who oppressed us, some people might not feel okay. I personally do say, as long as there's genuine love between you, it's okay. But I know, and I have read, we all know the history. We know who did the slave trade, right? We know how Africans are treated outside Africa, right? If you have the willpower, if you have the energy of sitting down, digesting the things that's gonna happen to you, probably, it's okay. If you accept it, it's okay. But you have been warned. Marrying within your culture is always way better than marrying outside your culture. The same thing which is happening to Indians. It's not like Africans will harm Indians. The Indians have the ego and have the pride. But for Africans, we fear being oppressed when we get married outside there. Now here is the difference. We are afraid to be the endangered species. They are afraid to lose their pride because they are getting married to people whom they think are lower caste, people whom they think are not, they are not up to their game, you know. And this is what everyone has to understand. Africans, show loyalty to your fellow Africans, and if love leads you to the path where you want someone else, may God be with you. I can only support you with what you do. As long as you are not hurt and you are comfortable and fellow Africans are not hurt, it's okay. It's really okay. But beware of Stockholm Syndrome. Stockholm Syndrome is real. So that's all for today. See you in the next video where we will discuss matters Africa, issues Africa, affecting the African continent. See you in the next video, and kindly subscribe to the channel, support me on Patreon, be a member of this channel, and give the video a super thanks. See you in the next video, and remember, stay African.